Merry Christmas, world! 'Tis the season for a Home Alone ranking. What's going to be my number one? My opinion might surprise you. Thank you for clicking on my video. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate that you did. Hello, world! I'm Chris Waitity, aka Mr. FLIXTER, and I just love motion pictures! Mr. FLIXTER! Merry Christmas, world! In this episode, I'm going to rank the Home Alone movies. Did you know there's 6 of them? So I thought, why not take the time and examine the franchise? What's your favorite Home Alone movie? Leave comments down below, and we could talk about it.
This ain't just a spoiler warning. It's a warning for all the boiglers. I'll crush you at Christmas ornaments if you try me. Yeah.
Number 6, I have Part 4, Taking Back Home. This originally aired on TV on ABC on November 3rd, 2002. Then it came on home video September 2nd, 2003. It was directed by Rod Daniel, and the screenplay was by Steve L. Hayes and Deborah Frank. So, the basic premise for this one is Kevin is forced to choose where to celebrate Christmas after his parents get divorced. Kevin McAllister decides to go with his father to stay at his girlfriend's smart house, where the guests include the royal family that are visiting for Christmas. That's when Marv returns with plans to abduct the prince.
Hello, Marv. Is that the prince?
No, that's Kevin. Kevin, Vera, Kevin.
The plot for this one plays out even more ridiculously than what it sounds like. Recasting the McAllisters and Marv? Really? The biggest problem with this one is the cast. Because Kevin McAllister is played by Mike Weinberg. Buzz McAllister is played by Gideon Jacobs.
Hello, Buzz? Kevin, is that you? Yeah, I'm calling from a cell phone. Oh.
His mom, Kate McAllister, is played by Claire Carey. The father, Peter McAllister, is played by Jason Beghe. And his love interest, his new girlfriend, Natalie, is played by Joanna Going. Marv is played by French Stewart, and his wife Vera is played by Missy Pyle. Prescott, the butler at the Smart House, is played by Eric Avery. And then there's the maid, Molly, played by Barbara Babcock. Yeah. Couple things here. If you're going to recast the McAllisters, that's one thing, but there's a lot of odd writing choices here. Like, the McAllisters get divorced? What? Doesn't that sort of destroy the whole foundation of the first two films? Isn't that supposed to be like about familyness and togetherness? I mean, sure, they get together in the end, but why would you even choose to do that? And then you have this new girlfriend come in. Oh, it's got bad news written all over it. Like, there's a lot of head scratching moments in this film. I mean, I just can't get over that. Recasting the McAllisters and Marv? What? And why is Marv dressed like Harry? That doesn't make any sense. Even the characters, the way they're written. Kevin doesn't act like Kevin. Marv doesn't act like Marv. The two parrots. Don't get me started on that. And the whole thing is supposed to take place in Chicago in December, but it was shot in South Africa, so there's like no snow in the entire movie. That's what I mean. There's a lot of bizarre choices. Worst of all, Kevin is never actually home alone in this. And there's no traps. They just use the smart house. Oh, why? How did this movie even get made? Why write legacy characters in such a way that it destroys the wholesomeness of the family that already exists in these Home Alone movies? Kevin doesn't even learn a lesson in this. And I swear, this kid has the creepiest laugh I've ever heard. It's made for television, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the whole thing just looks so cheaply made. We're talking like no production value. It's not just the worst Home Alone movie. This is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen a lot of movies. I've seen some stinkers. My official grade for Home Alone 4 is no popcorn. Don't waste your time. I've never done that before, people. That's how much I hate this flick.
Got any good ideas?
Not a one.
At number 5, I have Part 6, Home Sweet Home Alone. This was a Disney Plus original that came out in 2021. It was released on November 12th. It was directed by Dan Mazer. The screenplay was by Mikey Day and Streefer Seidel. Archie Yates is Max Mercer, a boy who is left behind at home alone. Eileen B. is Carol Mercer. She's Max's mom. Andrew Daly is Mike Mercer, Carol's husband and Max's father. Rob Delaney is Jeff McKenzie, an out-of-work man who plans to obtain an expensive doll from the Mercer's home. Ellie Kemper is Pam McKenzie, Jeff's wife, who also works as a teacher. Devin Rattray even returns as Buzz McAllister, except now he plays a cop, and he's got a funny connection to the original. It's actually a pretty good cameo. It's one of the best parts of this film. But anyways, here's the gist.
Locked and loaded.
Jeff and Pam are trying to sell their home, but they haven't told their children yet. During an open house, Max and his mother stop by because he has to use the washroom. While there, Max has a brief talk with Jeff. That's when Jeff learns about this unusual doll that he has. He learns that dolls with unusual deformities are worth a potential fortune. Believing that Max stole the doll, he and his wife agree to go steal it when they think the family is off on vacation in Japan. Tokyo, to be exact. Not that it matters. Why not just talk to the parents to have it returned? Especially with that twist at the end, when the nephew had it or whatever. This whole thing could have been resolved with a conversation. It's not as bad as Part 4, but there's still a lot of odd writing choices in this one. For example, it focuses more on the burglars this time, as aside from focusing more on the kid, like the other movies do. That's one good thing I can say about Part 4, at least it's about Kevin. This movie's not really about Max, the kid. And this kid's a really good actor too. I really liked him in Jojo Rabbit.
Nothing makes sense anymore.
Yeah, I know, it's definitely not a good time to be a Nazi.
So what you're saying, he doesn't have more to work with here. The new traps were just uninspired and generic, and some of them are just downright cruel and sadistic. None of the characters have any likable qualities in this film, nor do they have any redemptive qualities. Forget that. The overtly convoluted plot has mixed messages too. Who are we rooting for, exactly? I think the kid in this does work better when he has somebody to bounce off of in his scenes, as opposed to being by himself. And again, Max and his mom don't learn a lesson. In the first one, Kevin faces his fears by talking to Marley, and then he sees the importance of family through him. And then Kate McAllister has to take that journey back home. And then she has that physical journey, and she has that journey of self-discovery too. With that fear of having to lose him. Just the thought of losing him. When she finds him, she has a new appreciation for her son. And why even bring back Buzz if he has no real role in the plot? It was just the one scene. Like, yeah, sure, I get cameos. But if he's back, you can do something with him. Especially if he agreed to come back. The first video I did for this channel was the worst movies of 2021. And this film made the cut. Didn't like it then, and I still don't like it now.
This is garbage. I don't know why they're always trying to remake the classics.
My official grade for Home Sweet Home Alone is small popcorn. Again, don't waste your time.
We would have handled things a lot differently.
I hate those other two movies, but these ones I actually kind of like. For the rest of them, I think I should say that these are the ones I actually enjoy. At number 4, I have Part 5, The Holiday Heist. It was made on a budget of $11 million. This film grossed $996,000 in home video sales. It was a made-for-TV movie that originally aired on ABC on November 25th, 2012. This one focuses on a completely different family. Kind of like Part 6 did. Which is fine. If you're going to do a new Home Alone movie, go with a different family. And if you are going to go with the McAllisters, don't ruin it. It was directed by Peter Hewitt. And the screenplay was by Aaron Ginsberg and Wade McIntyre. Christian Martin plays Finn Baxter. Jodie Ferland plays Alexis Baxter, his sister. Ellie Harvey plays Catherine Baxter, their mom. Doug Murray plays Curtis Baxter, their dad. Ed Asner plays Mr. Carson, the mom's boss. Malcolm McDowell plays Sinclair, one of the burglars.
A painting ripped in half can be repaired. The same cannot be said for little girls.
Debbie Mazur plays Jessica, she's another burglar. And Eddie Steeples plays Hughes, the third burglar in this one. I've been a fan of his since My Name is Earl. And then Bill Turnbull plays Simon, Finn's online gamer friend. So I bet you're wondering what the plot of Part 5 is. Are you? Are you really?
My sister was trapped in the basement, and I have to buy supplies to break her out. A team of art thieves are planning an assault on my new house, and I'm the only one who can defend it.
Problem with this one is the Baxters aren't very compelling characters.
Have fun not being part of this family. Merry Christmas!
They're just derivative of prior films. Finn Baxter is afraid of the basement. How original. And technically, he's never left home alone. His sister is there too. So the title doesn't make any sense. Why is this called Home Alone? The new burglars are just generic cliches. Tries to make you feel bad for the crooks, kind of like Part 6 does. So it doesn't make any sense. Who are we rooting for exactly? And if this painting that the burglar's after is a family heirloom, then why not just ask the Baxter family for it back? Again, this could have been resolved with a conversation. Why write the only female villain always crying over her ex?
We're supposed to have a house together. For goodness sake. Can you please just return my call? Chocolate-covered coconut macaroons were Steve's favorite.
Talk about Christmas cheer. Why did Malcolm McDowell agree to do this exactly?
Gotcha, Chief. Oh, you got me, Hughes, did you? You really got me. There can be no mistakes.
The traps in this one aren't just unimaginative or uninspired. They're just dumb. We're talking like outright silly, like defying logic silly. Not like a little bit like the other movies, just like, oh my god, some of these I don't even understand. What's with that garage trap? Cookies made with Alka-Seltzer? There's this whole plot about tricking the thieves into thinking that the house is haunted. Really? It does have a few funny moments, like the aftershave gag. That subverted expectations nicely, and I laughed out loud. It's also got this funny side plot with the online gamer friend. That was hilarious.
I'm worried something bad is gonna happen to me.
Are you threatening my son?
And your daughter is locked in the basement.
You kidnapped my kids!
What?
And it has an abrupt ending, which is kind of weird. It's a pet peeve of mine for movies. I waited for a gag or some sort of one-liner. That never happened. This film was shot in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I enjoyed this one for the most part, but it does have major flaws, like a forced, overcomplicated plot and ridiculously boring, silly, dumb traps. It's made for television, but it doesn't look cheap. And at least they try to have the kids learn a lesson in this one. Somewhat. It's forced, but it's there. My official grade for Home Alone 5 is medium popcorn. It's not so bad. It's average. It's not outright offensive or aggravating like the other movies are. It's watchable. At number 3, I have the original Home Alone from 1990. This was made on an $18 million budget, and it had a box office of $476.7 million. More importantly, it was the second highest grossing flick of 1990, only behind Ghost. It was directed by Chris Columbus and written and produced by John Hughes. Fun fact, it was also edited by Raja Gosnell, who would later go on to direct Home Alone 3, Never Been Kissed, Big Mama's House, Scooby-Doo 1 and 2, Beverly Hills Chihuahua, The Smurfs 1 and 2, and Show Dogs. That's not a joke. That's not sarcasm. I'm actually a fan of this guy's work. Macaulay Culkin plays Kevin McAllister. Joe Pesci plays Harry. I love how he swears in this without actually swearing. He still keeps it PG. Because, I mean, he was in Goodfellas and Mafia movies and stuff like that before this. That's hilarious. Daniel Stern plays Marv, his partner in crime.
Marv! Harry? Why the hell did you take your shoes off?
Why the hell you dressed like a chicken?
John Hurd is Peter, Kevin's father. Catherine O'Hara is Kate McAllister, Kevin's mom. Robert Blossom is Marley, Kevin's elderly neighbor. Angela Goethals is Linny, Kevin's older sister. Evan Rattay is Buzz, Kevin's oldest brother, who bullies him and gets him into trouble. Jerry Bandman is Uncle Frank. Terry Snell is Aunt Leslie, Kevin's aunt and Frank's wife. Hilary Wolf is Megan, Kevin's older sister. Jedediah Cohen is Rod, another one of Kevin's cousin, the son of Frank. Kieran Culkin is Fuller, Kevin's youngest cousin and son of Frank. Michael C. Morona is Jeff, Kevin's older brother. He also starred in one of my favorite shows on Nickelodeon as a kid, Pete and Pete. Larry Hankin plays Officer Balzac. Oh, legendary John Candy plays Gus Polinski, a polka musician who helps Kate get home. This flick had an original story at the time, for a family-friendly Christmas flick that combined a heartwarming coming-of-age tale with slapstick comedy. And obviously it started off this massive franchise that we have now. It takes this time to set up the story and all the character dynamics before getting into the good stuff. When people think Home Alone, most people think of the traps, but that's only the last half an hour of the movie. This set the standard formula for all the sequels that followed it. I like how Kevin starts off as a little jerk, but then realizes the importance of family. Same with the mother, like I said before. She's not in the wrong necessarily in the beginning, but she still learns a lesson and has a whole new appreciation for Kevin toward the end because of her journey. And who can forget that iconic score by John Williams? It is forever burned in my brain. The traps in this one are some of the most original concepts to date too. All the other ones just kind of feel derivative after this one. Aside from part 2, but I'll get to that. And more importantly, these traps are believable in the world that has been established. Those other traps were just out there and not believable, and some of them were just lethal. I know that's nothing new for Home Alone, because that happens in this one too, but still, some of those other traps and those later ones, oh my goodness. That hilarious final line from Buzz, and the expression on Kevin's face, will just always be funny to me.
Kevin, what did you do to my room?
So, my official grade for the original Home Alone is large popcorn.
You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?
And number 2, I have Part 2, Lost in New York, from 1992.
Get down on your knees and tell me you love me. I love you!
This was filmed on a $28 million budget and made over $359 million at the box office. This film was the third highest grossing film released in 1992, behind The Bodyguard and Aladdin. It was also directed by Chris Columbus, and written and produced by John Hughes, like the first one was. And it was also edited by Raja Gosnell. Macaulay Culkin returns as Kevin, Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern return as Harry and Marv. Catherine O'Hara is back as Kate. Most of the original cast returns for this one, which is nice. It just helps with the continuity when you have a movie franchise, when the cast returns for sequels. Joining the cast this time, some of the newcomers are Brenda Fricker as the Pigeon Lady. Eddie Bracken plays Mr. E.F. Duncan, the proprietor of Duncan's Toy Chest. Tim Curry is the concierge of the Plaza Hotel. Dana Ivey is the desk clerk there. Rob Schneider plays a bellhop. And I love the random Donald Trump cameo. It's still funny to me to this day. All the newcomers are nice, hilarious additions. They all fit their roles nicely. And the Pigeon Lady gives the film a lot of heart. It's not just some cookie-cutter sequel, like I've heard other people call it before. In my opinion, the sequel takes everything that was great from Part 1, but it improves on it.
Harry, I've reached the top!
It takes what we liked about it and gave us more of it, which I think is what a good sequel should do. The New York City setting is a nice change from Chicago. I think that was smart to change cities like that.
My family's in Florida. I'm in New York.
I like how they get separated at the airport instead of being left home alone again, like being left behind. And even the way Kevin gets lost this time, I think is so funny.
Kevin's not here. Kevin's not here.
Kevin's not here.
Kevin's not here. Kevin's not here.
Kevin's not here.
Kevin's not here. Kevin's not here. Kevin's not here. Kevin's not here.
What?
And I think the traps in this one are more inventive and more extremely cartoonish in a good way. Everything's just amped up. I especially love that electrocution skeleton scene. The story in this one takes Kevin in various unexpected directions. Even the scene when Kevin tricks people with the old film clip is taken to a whole nother level in this one. The final line and Kevin's expression on his face are the perfect way to end the film. And I think it's even funnier than the original too.
Kevin, you spent $967 on room service!
So those are some of the reasons why I like this one more than the first one. My official grade for Home Alone 2 is an extra large popcorn.
Beat that, you little trout sniffer.
So, at number 1, I have Home Alone 3 from 1997.
Here we go, Doris. It's just you and me. I mean, there's someone else?
It was filmed on a $32 million budget and made $79.1 million at the box office. It's noteworthy this was the last Home Alone movie that was released theatrically. In fact, this is the only Home Alone movie that I've seen in theaters. Part 3 was the directorial debut of Raja Gosnell. This was also the last one to be written by John Hughes. Wisely, they chose to go to a different family with this one. It's the first one the franchise does that, where it branches out. Alex D. Linz plays Alex Pruitt, the main protagonist who was left home alone in this one. Evelyn Morris is Karen Pruitt, Alex's mom. Kevin Kleiner is Jack Pruitt, Alex's father. A young Scarlett Johansson is Molly Pruitt, his sister. And Seth Smith plays Stan Pruitt, Alex's older brother. Marion Seldes plays Mrs. Hess, an elderly lady who's the neighbor of the Pruitt family. Oleg Krupa plays Peter, the leader of the international criminals. Not just burglars. We're talking spy stuff in this one. That's so cool.
$10 million for the missile chip.
Raya Kielstead plays Alice, the first female burglar of the franchise. Lenny Von Dolan plays Burton, the third burglar. And David Thornton plays Mr. Unger, the fourth member and my personal favorite burglar of the bunch. I like how there's twice as many burglars in this one. It makes it more complicated for little Alex. So, this is my favorite for a lot of reasons.
A?
First and foremost, it puts a whole new spin on the classic tale, and it really raises the stakes in this one. The new burglars have clear motivations, and they're more of a threat this time because they're more dangerous, and they're more capable, because of their skill sets.
Versus Steffens and Mrs. Hess. I agree, Doris. The next stop is the Alcott's house.
I think the spy elements are a nice addition. Their plan is much more elaborate.
What kind of a burglar goes into a house and doesn't take anything? Do you know what I think? I think they're looking for something special.
But they're trying to find something that was kind of stolen from them, which puts a new spin on things too.
They're looking in everybody's house because they don't know who has it.
The scenes with the remote control car are the highlight. And I like how the first female villain in this one is smart.
They don't believe the kid. He takes matters into his own hands. It can't be anything else.
A lot of times she kind of puts the guys in check with her ideas.
Little boys do have wild imaginations, don't they?
And she comes up with a lot of good ideas on her own, too. She's kind of like the second in command. Sure, they're still dumb villains, but so are Harry and Marv.
2?
I think this has some of the most innovative, albeit most deadly, traps in the Home Alone franchise, too. It certainly has the most cartoonish violence. And that's a compliment.
Gotcha!
Even though that lawnmower totally would have killed that guy. And they totally would have frozen to death in that pool.
It's just a little lethal. It's still fun. It's still fun.
But hey, kids movie.
And D.
It's a new family, and the characters in this one are more compelling, too. I like Alex, he's a smart kid. He's lippy, but he's not an outright jerk. His siblings just hate him for, no reason. I mean, he's a sweet kid.
Thank you.
The siblings get little mini story arcs, though. As they come to respect Alex because of his actions.
We think he intercepted a top-secret electronic device stolen from a Defense Department contractor by a group of international criminals working for a North Korean terrorist organization.
I think Alex is smart and hilarious, but he's not obnoxious. He's just the right amount of cute, but not sugary sweet, so that it's sappy. He and Mrs. Hess have great story arcs, too. Alex faces adversity and learns how to overcome it. He also learns courage. She learns how to treat people better and appreciate those in her life, seeing the good in him. After he saved her life,
You're okay. I'm here now.
And you're a very sweet young man.
the fact that Alex can outwit international spies really shows his intelligence. I don't care what people say, that parrot is hilarious.
It's showtime. Gentlemen, start your engine. The old switcheroo. Bring, bring. Hello, this is Karen. Hi, how's it going? I think boat chips are overvalued. Listen, I'm in the shower. Can I call you back? If those are real, I'm an eagle. Don't come in. I'm naked. Monkey Butt. Lucy, I'm home. What's on your mind, Monkey Butt? Bad Leroy Brown. Houston, we have a problem. Counting down. Double or nothing.
I only have one.
We have ignition. Showtime.
I think the film was perfectly cast all around. Alex is adorable, and he gives a heartfelt performance. There's no final one-liner, but it still ends on a hilarious note, because all the burgers get chickenpox in the end. Alex gives them that little final screw you. I caught you, and I made you sick. Talking about kicking someone when they're down, eh? So, my official grade for Home Alone 3 is an extra, extra, extra large popcorn.
This is my house. No matter how old they are, no matter how big they are, they can't beat me here. They can't beat me at home.
So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's my official ranking of the Home Alone franchise. Did my answer surprise you? What's your favorite Home Alone movie? Do you agree with my list? Disagree? Leave comments below and we can talk about it. More importantly, how come nobody says anything after hitting the statue? How do you like my shirt? Isn't that gnarly?
Honestly, darling, if the next Home Alone is about the McAllisters, it'll be Kevin's heaven. How marvelous.
And remember, Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
And a Happy New Year.
Did you know that I'm a film critic for HorrorBuzz.com? You can read my reviews on their website, and I make frequent appearances on their YouTube channel, HorrorBuzz Live, so I'll leave links below for that too.
All right, enough of this gooey show of emotion.